Sticking with health for a few minutes now, the wife of a man living with Huntington's disease is calling for the government not to cut funding to voluntary groups. Last year, the Minister for the Environment extended grants to a number of charities until June 2015. The department says a review of funding is taking place at the moment and the outcome will be known in the coming months.
Christy Clark met his wife Anne in 2001. 3 years later, he was diagnosed with Huntington's disease. The couple got married last year and live at their home in Drimna in Dublin.
The form Christy has, it's all physical, and it affects him with the movement, the slurred speech. It's a very, very slow neurodegenerative disorder.
Anne looks after Christy with the help from a number of groups such as the Huntington Disease Association.
For us, the Huntington's Association made such a difference because it put us in contact with other people who were suffering from the same thing. Understood you so much and we're going through the same thing, and for a lot of us we would share numbers and you would keep in contact and you might just pick up the phone because you're talking to someone at the other end who understands exactly what you're going through.
The association is part of the Carmichael Centre of Voluntary Groups, which celebrated its 25th year anniversary with a march in Dublin today. However, many of the groups face an uncertain future as government funding is due to end in June and there's been no commitment that it will be restored.
Well, we're very concerned. Basically, we've been getting SS&O funding for a number of years since 2008, and we have become very dependent on it to provide core services for our members.
For Anne Clark, the association gives them hope and says any funding cuts would have a huge impact. She's calling on TDs to meet with people living with Huntington's to see how they cope.
They're heroes. You know, I've met some amazing people throughout the years. Okay, so Christy's trying to point to me. You're my hero.
Kevin Purcell, Ireland Live at 10.
With us in studio now to discuss this in some more depth is Dermot O'Curbuy, the Chief Executive of the Carmichael Centre that we saw in Kevin's report there. And Dermot, just first of all, on the centre as a whole, 25 years, congratulations to lots of people for that, but just describe your work to people who may not have heard of diseases like Huntington's before.
Well, Carmichael Centre is a cooperative shared space for 45 small charities that come together to focus on delivering the services they were set up for, but try and keep their costs to a minimum by sharing accommodation,
yes,
back office and materials. So it's a fantastic facility that we provide training and all that support, and they learn from each other, and there's peer support. So
would I be right in diseases like cancer and heart disease that affect so much of the population, they can stand it alone, but diseases that affect fewer people like
yes,
Huntington's maybe need an umbrella to stand under? Is that what Carmichael is?
Carmichael, would be 10 for the smaller groups, and there are small numbers that might be affected by the particular conditions. As you saw there in Huntington's, we've got Parkinson's, motor neuron, all based in the centre, heart, children, people with congenital heart. They don't need large organisations in terms of because of the numbers, but they do need support, and they do need national organisations to coordinate services, to act as spokespersons, to highlight and signpost where information is. So they provide a critical service. In Carmichael Centre, we said 45 groups, 40,000 people each year would benefit directly from the services provided by the groups in the centre.
And the thing about the pure economics of this, as we saw in that report, the difference on the love to care in your home with your own family, from a purely financial, economic point of view, it saves the state an absolute fortune.
Absolutely, and you saw there that you can't pay for that kind of care and support that's been provided in the home, and it's a service that has been done for the state. And when you look at what the alternative would be, if you take away that support mechanism from people like Anne there earlier on your clip, and the thousands like her around the country, you're just leaving them to the mercies of a state system that can come up short, as it does many times.
There has been almost a hardy perennial element to this, that the axe hangs over these type of groups that are doing good work, and then there may be a stay of execution for another year. What's your appeal to Minister Alan Kelly now, that things can be put on a more certain and planned footing?
Yes, the scheme, the SNOW scheme, that's the support for national organisations, is a good scheme in terms of it's one of the few schemes that gives support for national organisation that pays for core staff, and it's a 3-year programme. The problem is that the criteria can be variable. The decision process, in 30 health and disability organisations last June, and you'll be aware of it because you covered the story before, were left without any funding, and now we're nearly 9 months into the review process, and there's no decision. There's no decision on the appeal process and the original decisions that the organisations were, why were we unsuccessful? That's not acceptable.
Do you think the Minister will listen?
I hope so. And he showed decisive action when he came into office, because he inherited the problem. There was a problem in the first few weeks, and he acted decisively. So I will ask him again to look and resolve this and give some certainty, because you cannot plan, provide services with not knowing whether in 3 months' time your funding will be gone.
Okay, well, Dermot O'Carbery, of Chief Executive of Carmichael House, your call has been heard there, and congratulations to everyone there on 25 years of work.